If you're watching this, we have just crossed the halfway point of the year. The first 6 months are already behind us, and now we move into the 6 months that actually decide your enrollment numbers. So if your school is still under enrolled right now and you're starting to feel the pressure of open seats you need to fill, I need you to hear something important. In fact, this is the exact window where the schools that finish the year fully enrolled separate themselves from the schools that do not. And today I'm gonna walk you through the 3 moves that we use with our partner schools to close that gap before the year ends. Really quick though, so you know why this is worth your time, we are Raw Enrolled 365, and we build complete enrollment marketing systems for schools across the country. We've done this with more than 82 schools, so the 3 moves I'm about to show you are not theory. They are the plays that have worked again and again for the schools that we partner with. And the reason they work is simple. Each one focuses on the families who are already easiest for you to enroll instead of chasing brand new families you have never spoken to. So let us get into all 3, and I'll explain exactly why each one matters and how to actually do it. Before we do, I want to be honest with you why this half of the year matters so much. Most schools treat enrollment like a spring problem. They wait until March or April, they look up, they see empty seats, and then they panic. But by the time you are panicking in the spring, most of the families in your area have already chosen a school for the fall. The real decision window is happening right now in the back half of the year, which means the work that you do over the next few months is what's actually filling your seats. So the schools that win are the ones that are moving today. And I want to make sure that you are one of them. The first move is to host both a virtual and an in-person open house. Now, open houses have been one of our highest return plays for every school we work with. But I do want to be very clear about something, because this is where most schools fail. An open house only works when you actually promote it and follow up around it. You see, too many schools plan a beautiful event and post about it one time the week before, and then they wonder why only a handful of families show up. This is not an open house problem. That is a promotion and follow-up problem. So let me walk you through exactly how one of our partner schools did this step by step, because the details are what matter the most. We started promoting the open house a full 3 weeks in advance, not a week before, not a couple of days before, 3 weeks out, so that families had real time to hear about it, plan for it, and actually put it on their calendar. Then every single parent who submitted an interest form got a phone call back within 24 hours. On that call, we confirmed their spot for that open house, so that it felt like a real reservation, not just another flyer they ignore. From there, we followed up with emails and text messages leading up to the event, reminding them that it was coming and building up why this open house actually mattered for their child. We weren't just announcing an event, we were making it feel significant. And then here is the step that most schools completely skip. In the 24 hours to 2 days before the open house, we called every one of those families again. On that final call, we made sure they were still planning to come. We answered any last questions they had, and we told them exactly what to bring, so that when they did show up, they can enroll their child right there on the spot. And to push it over the edge, we gave them a real reason on why they should actually show up. We offered a $50 credit towards their uniform and school supplies, and that little incentive did 2 jobs at once. It got more families to actually show up, and it encouraged them to enroll right there at the event instead of going home to think about it. So when you hear that one of our partner schools, Victory Charter, enrolled 13 students from one single open house, understand that it wasn't luck and it wasn't just a good event. It was 3 weeks of promotion, fast follow-up within 24 hours, reminders that built real anticipation, a final call confirmation before the event, and an incentive that rewarded families for enrolling on the spot. And also, really quick, let's do the math on this, because this is the part that school leaders don't always get correct. At roughly $9,000 per pupil funding, 13 students came out to $117,000 in new funding for that school from one event. That is money you can reinvest into better staff, better resources, and a better experience for the families you already serve. So an open house isn't just an event. Done right, it is one of the highest investments you can make all year. The second move is to nurture every single application you already have sitting in your system. And this is one of my favorites because it costs you almost nothing, and most schools completely ignore it. Here's what happens at most schools. Families fill out an application or an interest form, and that information goes into some software, and then everyone assumes that those families will move forward on their own. The school lets the system run on autopilot and waits. But in reality, those families rarely take the next step without a push from you. They're busy, they're looking at other schools at the same time, and if nobody reaches out, they simply drift away. So here's what you do instead. You call them and email them consistently, and you invite them to every single event you host. And I want you to understand why this matters so much. These families are the warmest leads you will ever have. You already spent the time and money getting them interested in your school, so when you personally reach out and walk them through the next step in your process, whether that's booking a tour or completing their enrollment, you are converting families you will have already paid to attract. That is the cheapest enrollment you will ever get. And one more thing on this, because it's critical, speed matters far more than most schools realize. When a family reaches out, the faster you respond, the more likely they are to book a tour and eventually enroll, because those same families are contacting other schools at the same time. The school that responds first is very often the school that wins that family. So do not let your leads sit. Work them like they are the most valuable thing in your building, because they truly are. The third move is to build a real content plan for the next 6 months. And to understand why this matters, you first have to understand how parents actually choose a school today. Parents decide whether your school is right for their child long before they ever call you or walk through your doors. They are looking you up online first, they are reading your Facebook reviews, they are scrolling your Instagram, and they are studying your page to get a real feel for who you really are. So think about the impression you are making right now. If a parent finds your page and your most recent post is from 4 months ago, what does that tell them? It tells them that your school might not be active, it might not be organized, or might not really care. And just like that, you have made enrollment far harder than it needs to be before you ever spoke to that family. Now here's the good news. Fixing this is simpler than most people think. You don't need to post 10 times a day, and you don't need a full marketing team. What you need is consistency. And the way you get consistency is by choosing 3 to 4 content pillars that your team can return to again and again. Let me give you a couple of examples. One pillar could be principal highlights, where your principal recaps school events, shares recent test scores, and celebrates your school wins. Another pillar could be school events like sporting events, an art showcase, or a family night. When you keep your plan this simple, this repeatable, your team actually sticks to it all year long, instead of burning out after 2 weeks. And that steady consistency is what quietly builds trust with every family who looks you up. So by the time they finally reach out, they've already decided that your school is worth considering. Now let me bring this all together. If your school is under enrolled right now, these are the 3 moves that close the gap before the year ends. Host and properly promote a virtual or an in-person open house, and fully follow up around them relentlessly so that new families actually show up and enroll. Second, nurture every application you already have, because those are the warmest and cheapest families you will ever enroll. And third, build a simple and consistent content plan so that parents researching you online find a school worth choosing. None of these require a bigger budget or a brand new building. They require a system. And here's the truth we have seen over and over again. Enrollment is not a location problem, and it's not a demographic problem. It's a systems problem. The school that builds the system are the schools that fill seats. So if you want help putting these 3 moves in place for your school, that is exactly what we do at Raw and Rule 365. And leadership. We build a complete enrollment system for you so that you can focus on educating kids while we focus on filling your seats. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then click the link down below and watch a quick video explaining what we do and how we do it, and schedule a call with us to speak. We'll see you in the next video.